Hello and welcome back to Kelly's Cooking on the Cheap. I'm hoping again today that I get through without coughing a whole bunch. So I'll have my water, probably some with me. So we're making homemade mac and cheese because honestly I'm tired of the Kraft mac and cheese. So this is more for my husband and I anyway for lunches this week. So I've got my water boiling so I could put 8 ounces of elbow macaroni in, which I like. If you've heard me say before, I like the whole wheat pasta better. And the only place that I have found that has the elbow macaroni is at a Meijer, out of town of course, because we don't have a Meijer here, unfortunately, because where I live, they only have it in, I think, like the spaghetti and maybe like a penne or something. So I found it at a Meijer, so I picked some up. And in the meantime, while the water's waiting to boil, I've got butter melted, so I need to add my flour for the roux. So it's 1/4 of a cup, so let me get that to it. I like to use almond flour, but in this case, regular all-purpose flour works best. So I'm letting this cook down, get some of the flour taste out before I add the milk. And I got, again, this recipe off of Pinterest, and when I went to print it, I didn't realize that I hate pop-up ads because it's missing some of the text. So we're going to play it by ear. Alright. That's good. So I'm going to grab a whisk. Let me set this aside. And I'm going to go ahead and start adding some milk. It calls for 2 cups. I've got a cup ready to go here. Alright, let me whisk that in and then I'll get another cup as I make messes. I think that's my middle name is Mess. If my dad was here, he'd probably agree. Alright, let me get another cup ready to go. Alright. If you watched my video from yesterday, and I'm sorry, it was a long one. I got to yakking. But yesterday, in between the afternoon, I already grated up my cheese that I needed, which was 2 cups of cheddar and 1 cup of mozzarella. And then I had some Parmesan already pre-shredded from another recipe I've done. So we'll use that as well. So we're gonna let that, let's see. Let me bring this up a little bit more. Go higher heat so that way it'll heat up. Because I'm running a little behind. Go figure. Alright, the water's about to boil, so I'm getting ready to put in my macaroni. I had used some of my box, so I couldn't justify pouring half in. So I measured it out, weighed it out. I'll be right back so I'm not keep sniffling on you. So just hang tight. Alright, I'm back. Water's boiling, and I'm going to go ahead and add the macaroni. Yeah, here it actually spitted snow while I was doing dishes. So, to me, snow should just be for Christmas time. It's too early. Alright, so this is boiling, or I should say, the milk mixture is thickening, so I am going to reduce the heat and go ahead and add my cheeses. Again, here's my cheeses, mozzarella and cheddar, and then I'll add the Parmesan. Let's see. And I do have my oven heated already to save me time. And the temp is at 350. So it calls for half a cup of Parmesan, and I got this at Aldi. So let's see. That looks good. Because I didn't put as much in, probably because I did have probably an extra other cheese from grating. All right, it's melting pretty good. Once this melts a little bit more, then I will add the spices, and it's garlic powder, onion powder, and a touch of paprika. All right. Normally, if I didn't take the day off today, I would have made this up yesterday. But since I took the day off, I figure I'll make it up fresh for the hubs. All right, so seasonings. All right, so it's a half a teaspoon of paprika, I believe. Let me make sure. Actually, a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. And then a half a teaspoon of both garlic and onion. So sorry, I'm not very talkative. I think I talked myself out yesterday. All right. Again, this recipe, like my one yesterday, calls for panko or bread crumbs and some butter, melted butter, which I think I've got the butter melted already. All right, the cheese, it's ready to go. So I'm just waiting for the pasta to get done. So we'll come back and load it up. All right, welcome back. And I just drained the noodles, getting ready to add it. And while I was waiting for the noodles to get done, I was reading the notes, and it mentioned adding a splash of heavy cream to prevent dry mac and cheese. So, like, I've got some, might as well. So here we go, adding it to it. And let's get this stirred in. And the directions say for it to cook 25 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to check it after the 25 minutes. And it's to rest for 5-10 minutes. So probably during that time I'll have the chicken cooking up in the air fryer. So it doesn't look too bad. So here's my dish. Let me transfer this over, maybe. So here we go. So here it is. I'll bring it over and show you. So now I'm gonna pour the rest of my breadcrumbs over it. And I'm gonna grab my melted butter. Hopefully got, yeah. There we go. And then time for the oven. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put it in for about 25 minutes. And we'll come back and check it after that. All right, we're back. The mac and cheese has been sitting for 5-10 minutes. The chicken tenders has just gotten done. So let's dish up. Here's what it looks like. I'll get my hubby's going so he can start eating. Looks pretty good. So here it is, and then I did cut up some of the chicken tenders, but here's what they look like. Alright, let me dish up a bite so I can at least try it for you. As I sling it all over. I'll cut me up a couple more pieces here in a second. But here it is. Looks pretty good. Let's try it. See if it's better than the boxed. Still steaming. Does taste pretty good. Just hot. Hopefully I didn't burn my mouth. Very good. So I hope you enjoy. If you liked it, please like and subscribe and share for a good lunch idea. So have a good one.